experience to you. After all, I am not getting any younger, so it is time to pass my wisdom on to future generations.
I'd like to learn.
It will take some time, and a few groschen, mon ami. Acquiring my art came at great cost, so I cannot pass it on for free. Especially now when I have been unjustly stripped of my possessions, and I must rely only on my sharp wits. Ainsi va le destin. So, what would you like to know?
Baron Brabant, tell me a little about the world beyond the borders of our little country.
Mon ami, the world is so big and there is so much to tell, but you want to hear only a little? What to choose from that inexhaustible fount of wisdom? Ah, je sais. Opportunity is like a ladder. You must seize it with both hands, climb to the top, and knock it down behind you. Remember that, Jean-Henri? And now let me give you another piece of wisdom. Allons-y, mon ami. Let us not waste any time.
To know what the weather will be like tomorrow. If it's going to rain, there's no point going in.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
He knew exactly what the weather would be like.
I've heard say some farmers can tell by the clouds.
Henry! You have no idea how glad I am to see you alive and all in one piece. I was really worried about you. I prayed to Our Lady the Protector to watch over you in Kuttenberg. It's good she heard my pleas.
Thanks for putting in a good word. It definitely came in handy, because it wasn't nice at all. Lots of violence and death, countless foes. We could have easily kicked the bucket any moment.
God damn! What happened there?
It didn't look so bad at the start. We actually arrived in time and urged everyone to flee. But some of Eric's cutthroats got inside the tavern and murdered everyone there. Before we'd finished with them, a great mob gathered outside and struck against the gate. And it fell.
Oh, fuck! That sounds like a right massacre. God damn it. I should have gone there too. I could have been some use at least.
I'm always glad to fight by your side. But you wouldn't have changed anything there. There were too many of them. And when the whole street was thronged, there was no stopping it. All we could do was try to hold back Eric's people as long as possible, so the locals could flee to the synagogue. See, there's a hidden tunnel inside it, leading out of the city.
Fucking tunnels! Ugh. But thank Christ for them. What about Liechtenstein?
He's fine. And he managed to get those mysterious documents of his out. He left with the survivors for Colleen.
Praise God. He's from an old and glorious house. It'd be a dreadful pity if he got left behind. The main thing is you got out. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to thank you properly for coming to Malashov for me.
No need to thank me.
I beg to disagree, my brave and faithful companion. First and foremost, be it known that if you should ever similarly find yourself in captivity, I swear before our Lord Jesus Christ that I shall come for you as you came for me. And secondly, I have something here for you. A truly knightly reward for your knightly deed. A hunting bow that has no equal in the province. I hope it'll brighten your thoughts after all those horrors. It can fell the mightiest buck deer and enchant many a doe. And besides, it has attached to it an enlightening history.
I'm honoured. Thank you, friend.
Good day. Well, good day.
Please enlighten me, O noble sir.
According to legend, this bow belonged by right to Margrave Jobst of Moravia, who, however, was not worthy of it. And so, fate decreed that it fell into the hands of a proper knight.
What are you saying?
When I found out that Jobst would gladly leave me locked up, it got my blood up. So, to pay him back, I relieved him of the bow in Raborsch, and it was immediately clear to me that that bow should go to none other than you.
Tivole. You can't just steal a bow from the Margrave. When he finds out...
If he finds out, he can complain to the Lord of Perkstein. And when I have it out with him, that bow will be the last thing on his mind, believe me. It'd be great to try that bow out right away. We could ride out together on the hunt. Wine, bacon, wine, the deep woods, a quiver full of arrows, wine, shoot some deer and celebrate with wine, like we used to do back home.
We only went hunting together once.
Yeah, but it was memorable. Don't tell me you wouldn't like to do it again. But first duty, then some fun, eh? You'd better be going.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Certainly. I'm just about bored to death, so at least this'll make the time pass faster. Today, fighting with a longsword is in fashion. And why not? It's a great weapon. But in the end, it's all just a matter of taking out that bastard who's against you, isn't it? No one asks how you did it, so I'll show you this ruse of mine.
That sounds good. Teach me that.
All right, as long as you're not all thumbs, we'll get through this quick. There's nothing complicated about it. See, all you need to do is, during a deep thrust, to unexpectedly drop your right hand from the sword, and then you can get much further with your left. The opponent usually doesn't have enough time, and the tip of the sword ends up in his face like a giant stinger. Clean, fast work. And now, come and try it a few times.
Matthew won't be coming back. He took a liking to the bandit life around the trade routes.
Ungrateful bastard. When I first met him, he had a rusty axe and holes in his boots.
He said he didn't want to die for a king he didn't even know.
Nobody asked him to. All he has to do is fight. Others can do the dying.
How's the arse, dry devil?
Still hurts like hell, but I couldn't bear lying around in bed any longer. Now I've got to stretch my muscles a bit. Fancy helping me? We could spar for a bit. Kubienka as lazy as a toad. How about it? I could even teach you something.
And what would that be?
A technique for a truly experienced swordsman. The master strike.
I haven't learned that one yet.
I'll teach you. We can get started right away if you'd like.
Show me how to do a master strike, devil.
Follow me over here between the collapsed walls. The floor is straight there. A good place to spar.
Should we get started?
Right, show me what you've got. I see you've got some armor, so let's get started. Here, take this practice sword so we don't end up hurting each other. So the master strike is the ultimate sword-fighting technique. It's simple in theory, but not as easy in practice. It's a sword technique, regardless of if it's long, short, or you're using it with a shield. You use your counterattack to block your opponent's attack while striking them at the same time. There's no way to defend against it. I'll show you first so that you know how it should look. Attack me when you're ready. No, that's what Now you, Henry. Do you know how to perform a perfect block?
Of course.
The master strike works in the same way. Only instead of blocking, you attack at the right moment. You have to lead your attack against your opponent's weapon. When they attack from above, you stab them from below. When they try to slash you from the left, attack from the right. and vice versa. Timing and direction are everything. Hit your opponent at the right time and from the right angle. I'll attack slowly from above. You position yourself with your sword below and strike against my sword. On guard! Not like that! You were supposed to counter-attack from the opposite side when I started attacking. Good, Henry. Now, from this side. Watch where I'm attacking from. If I hold my sword to the left, put yours to the right. When I'm on the right, get ready on the left. The Master Strike only works when you attack from the opposite side. Let's give it a try. Now do it again. That's the way. Oh, you're catching on, Henry. All right, once more, and for real this time. I'll be attacking you from all sides. You have to pay attention and lead your counterattack from the opposite side.
I understand.
No, you have to attack at the same time. Snap out of it. That's not it. You have to attack me too. You're getting the hang of it. Again. Not like that. You were supposed to counterattack from the opposite side when I started attacking. Good work. Again. No, you have to attack at the same time. Snap out of it. No, you have to attack at the same time. Snap out of it. Not like that. You were supposed to counter-attack from the opposite side when I started attacking. Right, that's enough for now. Here's a few more tips. Remember, the easiest way to perform a perfect block is when your sword is in the same direction as your opponent's. When they attack from the left, you defend on the left. With a Master Strike, it's the other way around. You lead your strike from the opposite side than your opponent. If your opponent knows how to perform a Master Strike, don't give them an opportunity to use it. Try not to attack from the opposite side. Now for the most important part. You can use a Master Strike to defend against an opponent's riposte. After a perfect block, your positions are always set. Your opponent knocked your sword to the left and attacks with a riposte to the right. Until now, your only means of defence would be a perfect block. Now you can surprise them with a Master Strike that they won't be able to block even if they wanted to. Understand?
Why should I use the Master Strike?
If all you do is defend, you're bound to fail sooner or later. That's why it's better to counterattack. Strike the opponent's weapon from the opposite side. You'll block their weapon while hitting them at the same time. That's what the Master Strike is all about. Usually, you'll be aiming at your opponent's weak point. If you don't win the fight then and there, you'll surely at least injure and stun your opponent. If that's the case, don't stop. Keep attacking before your opponent has a chance to recover.
Why should I use a perfect block when I can do a Master Strike?
That depends. Sometimes it's good to exchange a few blocks and counterattacks, then unexpectedly finish with a Master Strike. Your opponent can't use a Master Strike if you don't attack from the opposite side. Try changing the position of your blade. Attack unpredictably. If your opponent uses a perfect block and his riposte is headed towards your blade, attack instead of defending, and you might win the fight.
What's better, the Master Strike or combos?
Combos are purely offensive techniques. They're strings of attacks to put your opponent in a position you want. Then you can finish them off with a stronger technique. But even your combo can be interrupted by an opponent's Master Strike. See, when your combo doesn't work out, your opponent interrupts it with a block and attacks, it doesn't mean the fight's over. Just use a perfect block. Or you can even use a Master Strike.
That's enough for me. That's too much information at once.
All right. I'll try to summarize the most important parts. Try getting your opponent into a position in which you can use the Master Strike. And do your best to avoid being put in such a position yourself. Watch the position of your sword and use it to decide which technique to use. Better?
We'll see.
It's up to you now to learn how to use the Master Strike in combat.
I'll do my best. Thanks. Why did they want to hang you?
I reckon my face bothered them. More likely they're pissed off I'm not a hypocritical fucker like they are.
And that's a reason for execution?
Unlike the hypocrites in the League of Lords, I'm not ashamed of what I am.
I know they call you Dry Devil.
Aye, they call me a lot of things, laddie. And that's what rankles the Lords, that I'm getting rich at their expense. And that's some fucking fat loot they stole from the king.
So you're on the king's side?
I'm on the side of whoever pays me, lad. And I'll tell you one thing. I've never gone back on my word. My noble word is my oath. Unlike that of bastards like von Bergau or von Rosenborg.
Have you been at war?
Aye, I fought in Moravia, and I'm still the hetman of the royal city of Znaim. You're just a yokel. So you hardly know what's been going on in the kingdom these last few years?
You're an experienced warrior, so teach me something.
Not a damn thing, lad. Not unless you pay me well. But first, bring me some good wine.
All right. Here you go.
Good lad. Now, what do you want to know?
I need to improve my sword biting skills.
Then sword fight, damn it! But the main thing is not to soil your braze, no matter who you're up against. All right then. I'll show you a few devilish tricks.
I'd like to learn from a master.
Where's that wine? Nor should I write it down in your diary so you'll remember it.
Again?
Always!
All right. Here you go.
Ready. What is it you want then?
I want to see what you can do with a mace.
Ha ha! Good choice. It's better than a sword when you're up close. All right then. I'll show you a few devilish tricks.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Certainly. I'm just about bored to death, so at least this'll make the time pass faster. I've seen you fight, and you could be a bit more direct, my friend. Just forget about what it looks like, you get me? I'll show you how to take out your opponent without slitting him open from his neck to his arse. What do you say?
That sounds good. Teach me that.
Aye, I can see you like longswords too, eh? So listen, the trick is about speed and surprise. After stabbing with the sword, you immediately turn it around, and while sliding, you strike the sword's pommel forward. If you do it fast enough, the opponent won't have time to move, and you'll hit him right between the eyes. And now, come and try it a few times.
I'd like to learn from a master.
You got that wine for me?
Fine. I'll go and get some. I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Well, why not? And since it's you, I'll show it to you twice so you'll understand it. If you're a good lad,